Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Abhishek Mukhopadhyay and with me is Manoj Singh Rana with the evening news. The headlines. India and China disengage their troops in Gogra region in eastern Ladakh. Both the Houses of Parliament adjourned for the day following opposition ruckus over Pegasus snooping, farm laws and other issues. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says exports to play an essential role in building an Atmanirbhar Bharat of our dreams. Around 5 crore beneficiaries enrolled and more than 4 crore trained under Pradhan Mantri Gramin Digital Saksharta Abhiyan scheme so far. Centre is ready to discuss the farmers' issues in both Houses of Parliament, says Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar. India makes a historic record by administering more than 50 crore doses of COVID vaccine so far. National recovery rate stands at 97.36%. RBI keeps repo rate unchanged at 4%, maintains accommodative stance. Nation's highest sporting honour, Khel Ratna Award named after Major Dhyan Chand. In Tokyo Olympics, wrestler Bajrang Punia lost in semi-finals of men's freestyle 65 kg category, will fight for bronze tomorrow. And in cricket, on the third day of the opening test match, India takes lead of 95 against England in Nottingham. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is going on, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. India and China have disengaged their troops in the Gogra region in eastern Ladakh. The move came following the 12th round of talks between the corps commanders of India and China held at Chusul Moldo meeting point in eastern Ladakh on the 31st of July this year. The troops in this area have been in a face-off situation since May last year. The two sides had a candid and in-depth exchange of views on resolution of remaining areas related to disengagement along the line of actual control, LAC, in the western sector of India-China border areas. Minister of Defence in a statement said that as per the agreement, both sides have ceased forward deployments in this area in a phased, coordinated and verified manner. The disengagement process was carried out over 2 days, 4th and 5th of this month, and the troops on both sides are now in their respective permanent bases. The ministry said all temporary structures and other allied infrastructure created in the Gogra area by both sides have been dismantled and mutually verified. The landform in the area have been restored by both sides to pre-standoff period. The Defence Ministry further added that this agreement ensures that the LAC in this area will be strictly observed and respected by both sides and that there is no unilateral change in the status quo. It said with this one more sensitive area of face-off has been resolved. The ministry said that both India and China have expressed commitment to take the talks forward and resolve the remaining issues along the LAC in the western sector. The ministry said the Indian Army, along with Indo-Tibetan Border Police, ITBP, is totally committed to ensure the sovereignty of the nation and maintain peace and tranquility along the LAC in the western sector. Both the Houses of Parliament were adjourned for the day following continuous protests by the opposition parties over Pegasus, farm laws and other issues. In the Lok Sabha, when the House reassembled after first adjournment at 12 noon, opposition members including Congress, TMC and DMK again trooped into the well with placards raising slogans. Amid ruckus, the House passed the Taxation Laws Amendment Bill 2021 and the Central Universities Amendment Bill 2021 passed without any discussion. When the House was taking up the bills for consideration and passage, Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary said the opposition is demanding justice for the farmers, but the government is not willing to discuss the issues. Responding to it, Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs Arjun Ram Meghwal asserted that the government is ready for discussion, but the opposition is not allowing it. As uproar continued, the House was adjourned for the day. Earlier, when the House met for the day, opposition members, including Congress, TMC and DMK, created ruckus. Amid noisy scenes, Speaker Om Birla repeatedly asked the agitating members to allow the House to function, but they did not pay heed. Later, the House was adjourned till 12 noon. In the Rajya Sabha, when the House met after first adjournment at 12 noon, opposition members, including Congress, TMC, DMK and Left, again came into the well, pressing the demand for discussion on Pegasus snooping and other issues. Amid uproar, the presiding officer tried to run the question hour, but could not succeed, and the House was adjourned for the day. Earlier, when the House assembled for the day, Deputy Chairman Harivansh said that the chairman has accepted calling attention and short-duration discussion on different issues, including farmers' agitation, and asked the government and the opposition to decide the timing. Amid pandemonium, the Deputy Chairman tried to run the 0 hour. As noisy scenes continued, he adjourned the House till 12 noon.
The Lok Sabha today passed the Taxation Laws Amendment Bill 2021 amid din with voice vote. The bill provides that no tax demand will be raised in future on the basis of the retrospective amendment for any indirect transfer of Indian assets if the transaction was undertaken before the 28th of May 2012. It is further proposed to provide that the demand raised for indirect transfer of Indian assets made before the date will be nullified on fulfillment of specified conditions. The government today said that a task force set up to examine the correlation of marriageable age and related issues has submitted its report to the centre. The information was given in a written reply to the Lok Sabha today by Women and Child Development Minister Smriti Irani. She said the task force has also examined other issues like motherhood, health, medical well-being, nutritional status of mother during pregnancy and childbirth. India's trade deficit with China has declined from $53.57 billion in 2018-19 to $44.02 billion in 2020-21. This information was given in a written reply to a question in the Rajya Sabha today by Minister of State for Commerce and Industry Anupriya Patel. To a question whether India is considering to maintain a separate negative list of items on which it will give limited or no tariff concessions to Chinese imports under the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership RCEP trade agreements, the minister said New Delhi has not joined the RCEP trade agreement signed by 15 countries in November last year.
The government today said that approximately 5 crore beneficiaries have been enrolled and more than 4 crore have been trained under the Pradhan Mantri Gramin Digital Saksharta Abhiyan scheme till the 2nd of August. In a written reply to Lok Sabha, Union Minister for Women and Child Development, Smriti Irani has said that over 2 crore women beneficiaries are registered in the scheme. Out of this, above 1 crore women beneficiaries are certified under the scheme, which is 54% of the total certified beneficiaries under the scheme. The minister added that the government had a target of reaching 6 crore households by March next year. Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar today criticized opposition over farmers' issues. Talking to reporters outside Parliament, Mr. Tomar said the government is ready to discuss the farmers' issues in both houses of Parliament, and if the opposition is really concerned about farmers, they should discuss it. He questioned the opposition why it is not ready to have a discussion. The minister accused them of raising the issue just to be in the media's limelight. Meanwhile, opposition leaders joined farmers' protest against farm laws at Jantar Mantar in New Delhi. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, DMK leader Tiruchi Shiva, CPIM Elamaram Karim, Shiv Sena leader Sanjay Raut, Manoj Jha of the RJD and others joined the protest.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has questioned the opposition over its allegation that the government is passing the bill in a hurry. Talking to reporters outside Parliament today, she reminded the Congress about the passing of the bills in a rush during the UPA rule.
2007 में कम से कम 11 बिल जल्दबाजी में ऑपोजिशन ने पास करवाए। उसके बाद दोबारा 2011 में एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बिल को भी ऐसे जल्दबाजी में पास करवाए दबदबाव में, और माननीय कपिल सिब्बल जी एडमिट भी किए हाँ हम जल्दबाजी में पास किए हैं। तो जब इनका रिकॉर्ड इतना है, जब इधर बार बार सरकार में चाहे वो पीयूष गोयल जी हो राज्यसभा से या प्रहलाद जोशी जी हो, बार बार मांग रहे हैं कि आ जाओ हम बात करने के लिए तैयार हैं, फिर भी हमें बोलते हैं दबदबाव में पास कर रही हूँ।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that exports will play an essential role in determining India's position in global economy. He said India is drawing new opportunities in the export sector and is achieving new targets. Interacting with heads of Indian missions abroad along with stakeholders of the trade and commerce sector of the country this evening through video conferencing, the Prime Minister said that at present the country's exports are about 20% of the GDP.
ये समय आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव का है। ये समय आजादी के 75वें वर्ष में अपनी स्वतंत्रता को सेलिब्रेट करने का तो है ही, भविष्य के भारत के लिए एक क्लियर विजन और रोड मैप के निर्माण का अवसर भी है। इसमें हमारे एक्सपोर्ट के एम्बिशंस का और उसमें आप सभी साथियों का इन्वॉल्वमेंट, इनिशिएटिव, आपका रोल बहुत बड़ा है। आज जो ग्लोबल लेवल पर हो रहा है, मैं समझता हूं हम सब, और यहाँ जो मेरे सामने सब लोग हैं, वो इन सब चीजों से ज्यादा परिचित हैं।
He said considering the size of its economy, potential, the base of our manufacturing and service industry, it has the potential to grow a lot. He said when India is walking on the path of building an Atmanirbhar Bharat of our dreams, India needs to expand its share in the global value chain.
आज जब देश आत्मनिर्भर भारत के मिशन पर चल रहा है, तो उसका एक लक्ष्य एक्सपोर्ट्स में ग्लोबल सप्लाई चेन में भारत की हिस्सेदारी को कई गुना बढ़ाने का भी है। और इसलिए आज हमें ये सुनिश्चित करना है कि इंटरनेशनल डिमांड के अनुसार हमें एक्सेस मिले, ताकि हमारे बिजनेस खुद को स्केल अप कर सके, ग्रो कर सके। हमारी इंडस्ट्रीज को भी बेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी की तरफ जाना होगा, इनोवेशन पर फोकस करना होगा और R&D में हिस्सेदारी बढ़ानी ही पड़ेगी।
Mr. Modi stressed that 4 factors are very important for increasing exports. He said first, manufacturing in the country has increased manifold. Secondly, the problems of transport logistics should be removed. Thirdly, the government should walk shoulder to shoulder with the exporters. And the 4th factor, which is related to today's event, is the international market for Indian products. The government today said that more than 51 crore 16 lakh vaccine doses have been provided to the states and union territories so far. The Union Health Ministry said that 2 crore 30 lakh unutilized COVID vaccine doses are still available with the states, UTs and private hospitals to be administered. The ministry said over 20 lakh 49,000 doses are in the pipeline.
India has made a historic record by administering more than 50 crore doses of COVID vaccines till date. In a tweet, Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia congratulated all the people and thanked the healthcare workers over this achievement. The ministry also said the national COVID recovery rate is presently at 97.36%. More than 41,000 patients recovered during the last 24 hours. India reported over 44,000 new cases in the last 24 hours. 464 deaths have been reported during the same period. Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai has announced weekend curfew in districts bordering Maharashtra and Kerala. Addressing media persons after holding a meeting with experts, the Chief Minister said that owing to the opinion of the experts, the trends in the positivity rate of the viral infection and directions received from the central government, it is decided to impose weekend curfew in the border districts of the state in north and south.
We have taken a decision that night curfew will be preponed by 1 hour throughout the state, and there will be weekend curfew at the border districts of Kerala and Maharashtra. And we have decided that graded school opening will be there. First 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th will be opened around 53rd. All COVID norms and details will be given by the order. We will review the whole situation at the last month of August and will decide about the primary education opening.
You're listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. India and China disengaged their troops in Gogra region in eastern Ladakh. Both the Houses of Parliament adjourned for the day following opposition ruckus over Pegasus snooping, farm laws and other issues. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says exports to play an essential role in building an Atmanirbhar Bharat of our dreams. Around 5 crore beneficiaries enrolled and more than 4 crore trained under Pradhan Mantri Gramin Digital Saksharta Abhiyan scheme so far. Centre is ready to discuss the farmers' issues in both Houses of Parliament, says Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar. India makes a historic record by administering more than 50 crore doses of COVID vaccine so far. National recovery rate stands at 97.36%. RBI keeps repo rate unchanged at 4%, maintains accommodative stance. Nation's highest sporting honour, Khel Ratna Award, named after Major Dhyan Chand. In Tokyo Olympics, wrestler Bajrang Punia lost in semi-finals of men's freestyle 65 kg category, will fight for bronze tomorrow. And in cricket, on third day of opening test match, India takes a lead of 95 runs against England in Nottingham. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back. You are listening to the evening news. The Monetary Policy Committee of the RBI kept the repo rate unchanged at 4%. The repo rate is kept unchanged for the 7th consecutive time. Other major rates like the reverse repo rate, bank rate, MSF, CRR, SLR have also been kept unchanged. In a statement, Governor Shaktikanta Das said the MPC has also decided on a 5-1 majority to continue with the accommodative stance as long as necessary to revive and sustain growth on a durable basis and continue to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 on the economy.
Based on an assessment of the evolving domestic and global macroeconomic and financial conditions and outlook, the MPC voted unanimously to keep the policy repo rate unchanged at 4%. The MPC also decided on a 5-1 majority to continue with the accommodative stance as long as necessary to revive and sustain growth on a durable basis and continue to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 on the economy while inflation remains within the target going forward. The marginal standing facility, that is MSF rate, and the bank rate remain unchanged at 4.25%. The reverse repo rate also remains unchanged at 3.35%. The projection for real GDP growth is retained at 9.5% for 2021-22. Real GDP growth for Q1 22-23, that is next financial year, is projected at 17.2%.
Mr. Das said inflation may remain close to the upper tolerance band up to Q2 of 2021-22, but these pressures should ebb in Q3 of 2021-22 on account of Kharif harvest arrivals and as supply-side measures take effect. Mr. Das added, taking into consideration all these factors, CPI inflation is now projected at 5.7% during 2021-22.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with the beneficiaries of the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana PMGKAY in Madhya Pradesh at 11 a.m. tomorrow through video conferencing. Madhya Pradesh Governor Mangu Bhai Patel and Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan will also be present on the occasion. The event will also witness participation of ministers and officials of the food sector from Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Tripura, Haryana and Goa. An intensive campaign to create more awareness about the scheme is being conducted by the state governments so that no eligible person is left out. The state will celebrate the 7th of August 2021 as Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana Day. More details from our correspondent.
Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana program will be held at all 25,435 fair price shops in the state. Ration material will be distributed in bags to 100 beneficiaries per shop with COVID protocol. Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan said that the participation of all public representatives would also be ensured. Ministers, MPs and MLAs will launch the program in their respective areas. A nodal officer for each fair price shop will be appointed by the district collector who will oversee the implementation of this scheme. There will also be a social team for each shop which will include members of the Crisis Management Committee, Gram Panchayat Secretary and local prominent citizens. Pooja P. Vardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
The government today said that the Ministry of Information Broadcasting undertook a special drive for providing financial assistance to the families of journalists who succumbed to COVID-19. In a written reply to the Lok Sabha today, Union Minister of State for Health and Family Welfare Dr. Bharti Praveen Pawar said that a sum of 5 crore rupees was approved during 2020 and 2021 for financial assistance at a rate of 5 lakh rupees to each of the 101 families of journalists who died due to COVID-19.
Meghalaya and Assam government held its second Chief Ministers level talks today on the vexed interstate boundary row in Guwahati. The meeting is a follow-up of the first talks held in July 23rd in Shillong. At the meeting, a detailed presentation was given by the government of Assam on 6 areas of differences out of 12. Both the governments have agreed to take up the matter in a phase-wise manner. Both the states have also decided to form 6 regional committees which will be headed by the cabinet ministers. Both the governments have decided to focus on historical facts, ethnicity, administrative convenience, willingness and sentiments, and contiguity. Based on these 5 terms, they will try to find a new way forward. The regional committees will submit the report and findings after making joint visits to the different areas within the next 30 days, informed CM Conrad. Jammu and Kashmir administration has decided to name government schools after the martyred personnel of Army, Police and the CRPF. In this regard, a committee will be constituted at the district level to finalize a list of government schools. The deputy commissioners were asked to forward the list to the divisional commissioner's office by August 5th.
The Minister of Housing and Urban Affairs said that more than 11 lakh crore rupees have been spent by the government in the past 6 years on programmatic interventions in the urban sector. In an exclusive interview with All India Radio, Shri Hardeep Singh Puri highlighted the achievements of the government. Talking about urban mobility, he said that the goal is to move people, not cars.
One of the most significant, noteworthy achievements of the Modi government have been in the urban space. Let me give you one statistic. In the 10 years of the UPA government, led by the Congress, the total amount of expenditure incurred on the programmatic interventions of the central government in 10 years was 1,57,000 crores. From June 2015 to now 6 years, the total expenditure is more than 6 times. It is close to 11 lakh crores. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, the urban spread. The target demand assessment was initially 1 crore. We revised the demand assessment. Today it has been placed at 1 crore 11 lakh. Let me tell you, we've already saturated the demand. Today we have sanctioned more than 1 crore 12 lakh units. 50 lakh beneficiaries have already moved into their Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. RERA has been implemented. How does it benefit the home worker? It's a game changer.
To listen to the full interview with Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri on the achievements and path-breaking initiatives in the housing and urban affairs, tune into our program Spotlight today at 9:15 p.m. on FM Gold. The nation is celebrating Azadika Amrit Mahotsav to commemorate the 75th anniversary of India's independence. A series of events are being organized to mark the occasion across the country. The Mahotsav will be celebrated as a Jan Utsav in the spirit of Jan Bhagidari. The Indian Council of Historical Research, ICHR, has planned a series of events to celebrate the Mahotsav. Talking to AIR News, Director ICHR, Dr. Om G. Upadhyay said the ICHR has planned 75 regional seminars wherein focus will be laid on unsung heroes of the freedom struggle movement and historical places. He said activities have been planned according to the 75 regions covering 10 to 12 districts.
Indian Council of Historical Research, an autonomous body under the Ministry of Education, Government of India, we have planned a series of programs and publications throughout the year, throughout these 75 weeks. In fact, we have planned 75 regional seminars in which we will be discussing on, we will be focusing on 5 issues. Lesser known or unsung heroes of the freedom struggle movement. We have just distributed the entire country in 75 regions, you can say, covering 8, 10, 12 districts in each regional seminar. And we will discuss on unsung heroes or lesser known personalities of the freedom struggle movement.
To celebrate Azadika Amrit Mahotsav, All India Radio News Leh has launched a year-long quiz program titled Azadika Amrit Mahotsav Quiz Program. On the occasion of second anniversary of the abrogation of Article 370, the creation of UT Ladakh on 5th of August, Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council Leh CEC Tashi launched the quiz program with the first question for All India Radio listeners.
Textile Ministry will celebrate the 7th National Handloom Day tomorrow. The handloom weaving community will be honored for their contribution in the socio-economic development of this country. It is a sector that directly addresses women's empowerment, with over 70% of all weavers and allied workers being female. All India Radio live streams or news on AIR app are getting popular across the world. In the latest world rankings on the popularity of AIR live streams or news on AIR app, Fiji displaced United Kingdom to follow United States and Australia in the top 3 ranks. These rankings are based on fortnightly data from 16th to 31st of July this year. However, the data does not include India.
In Tokyo Olympics, favourite Indian grappler Bajrang Punia lost his semi-final match 5-12 against Haji Aliyev of Azerbaijan in men's freestyle 65 kg category. Punia will fight for the bronze medal tomorrow. Seema Bisla lost her first match 3-1 against Sara Hamdi of Tunisia in the free quarterfinals of women's freestyle 50 kg category. Indian golfer Aditi Ashok carded at 367 in the third round of women's individual stroke play to hold on to the second position and remain in strong contention for the country's historic Olympic medal in golf. In athletics, Priyanka Goswami stood 17 and Bhavna Jat 32 in the 20-kilometer race walk. The Indian women's hockey team has lost the bronze medal match 3-4 to Great Britain at the Tokyo Olympics. The Indian women's hockey team put up a spirited performance but fell short of their first ever Olympic medal. In athletics, Gurpreet Singh could not finish his race in men's 50-kilometer race walk final this morning. In men's 4x400 meter relay heat second event, India placed in 4th position.
In cricket, on the third day of the first test match, England were 10 for no loss. In the second innings, when reports last came in, India were all out at 278, taking a lead of 95 runs in the first innings against England. Earlier, the play was delayed due to rain. Visitors resumed the first innings at the overnight score of 125 for 4 against England in the opening cricket test of the 5-match series. Now, let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi is likely to experience generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature will hover between 27 and 34 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Chennai is expected to have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Kolkata will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Srinagar will experience partly cloudy sky becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening or night. Jammu will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Leh is expected to have partly cloudy sky. Gilgit will have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The temperature will hover between 19 and 35 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will experience thunderstorms. The minimum temperature will be 18 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 27 degrees. Guwahati, Imphal, Shillong and Aizawl and Kohima is expected to have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Itanagar will experience generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Gangtok will experience generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Temperature will hover between 18 and 25 degrees Celsius. Agartala will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Dehradun will have rain or thunder showers. The Khel Ratna Award has been named as Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said the decision was taken following a number of requests from citizens across the country to rename it. And now, before I end the bulletin, the headlines once again. India and China disengaged their troops in Gogra region in eastern Ladakh. Both the Houses of Parliament adjourned for the day following opposition ruckus over Pegasus snooping, farm laws and other issues. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says exports to play an essential role in building an Atmanirbhar Bharat of our dreams. Around 5 crore beneficiaries enrolled and more than 4 crore trained under Pradhan Mantri Gramin Digital Saksharta Abhiyan scheme so far. Centre is ready to discuss the farmers' issues in both Houses of Parliament, says Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar. India makes a historic record by administering more than 50 crore doses of COVID vaccine so far. National recovery rate stands at 97.36%. RBI keeps repo rate unchanged at 4%, maintains accommodative stance. Nation's highest sporting honour, Khel Ratna Award, named after Major Dhyan Chand. In Tokyo Olympics, wrestler Bajrang Punia lost in semi-finals of men's freestyle 65 kg category, will fight for bronze tomorrow. And in cricket, on the third day of the opening test match, India takes a lead of 95 runs against England at Nottingham. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.